So the next company is a very, very interesting company from a technology and from a solution point of view. It's one of the companies which organize really the convergence between the physical and the digital access for large multinationals, top brands. Company is coming from Sweden, so I would welcome Peter Gille, the CEO of the company Nexus.
Noticed in this folder that we are the only one who don't have any photos, you know. I think it's because we are so busy, not a strategy from our side. And then I looked on this picture. You know, everybody's turning their back to the camera. What is this? Maybe it's because we are a security company. We don't show anything. Okay, I'm Peter Gille. I'm CEO of Nexus. Nexus in brief, we're a company, we're founded in 1984, but we were really born in 2010. That's when we decided to go for a different kind of a market. And we become a software security company focused on the convergence between physical and digital security. I will explain more what I mean with that later on. There are some interesting points on this slide, but more interesting is what is not on this slide. It says there were 245 employees. It doesn't say that we were 150 employees 15 months ago. It says that we have 30,000 customers, which I think is quite impressive. Next month, it will be 31,000. We have 200 new cloud customers every week. We have a growth about 50 to 100% year over year since we took this new strategy. And we have many big clients, as Laurent mentioned. But going back to the converged physical and digital security. What is it and what do we mean with that? I don't know if you are aware of it, but we are entering into a new world. Everything is going online. You know, our cars are going online, cameras, locks. We have sensors soon that will go online. The physical and the digital world are merging. That's really happening. And this gives many companies big new business opportunities. We already see Google launching self-driving cars. You can use cameras to analyze customer behavior. And intelligent buildings will change the way we use energy and so on. And all that is good, of course. But we think that to also have secure processes, you will need something to protect these buildings, these cars, and maybe yourself. And we think that you will need an identity that can travel between these two worlds, between the digital and the physical world. You could think about it like an electronic passport, but not only for people, but also for things, data, or transactions, but can travel between these two worlds. And that's really what Nexus has been doing. We have developed a platform for something that we call the dynamic identity that can travel between these two worlds. And it can be a simple identity sometimes. If you want to book a car over the internet, get the key in your phone, and then open the car, get the car and open it with that key, you might need a simple identity. But if it's about connecting, for instance, healthcare equipment in a hospital, then you will need a more advanced identity. Is this really necessary? we see every week articles about what is happening. Because when things go online, it's not at all certain that they are secure. In Sweden, 2 weeks ago, there was an article about that the building systems were going online. So they were taking the buildings online, but no one thought about the security. Suddenly you could, from the internet, you could open doors in buildings, maybe what's even police houses connected. I don't know if you could open the prison doors. We could definitely turn on church bells and other things that people did. There's a site where you can go in and look at cameras who is connected into people's home and which they haven't secured. That's good. Put up a security camera for the thief to really check when you're not at home. So these are the problems that we are addressing with our dynamic identity. And it's, of course, a big growing market, we believe. This is the golden thing that we have developed, the dynamic identity platform. In the data model, we store basically standards, both for the physical and the digital world. And that's really the core of this platform, this dynamic identity platform. On top of it, we have a workflow engine, so we can create the processes for managing the identities from birth to death. And then we have different way of using access. And as you can see up there, we have different ways of issuing identities to software, transactions, big data, people, or devices. Our main markets, as you can see, we create over 90% in basically 2 regions. The DACH region, Germany, mostly, and the Nordics, Sweden, mostly. We have had this growth within these regions. Early, we also went to delivering a lot of the software through the cloud. And that has also led to that our recurring revenues today are about 60%. So we have a very good business model in that sense. But of course, we see the potential here. In 2 regions, we have been able to create this company with this great growth. What would happen if we could expand this to other regions? That's why we're talking to the accelerator, of course. Volkswagen is one of our customers, as well as many others car companies. They have used our identity platform really to protect their employees, their infrastructure, and they're also now looking on putting it for different other use cases. And since they're using the same platform, it's really cost efficient and easy to roll out. I talked about the international expansion. The geographical expansion is interesting, but we have a lot to do in our current markets. So we have a lot of business to do there. And the even bigger opportunity is when this convergence really happens, because it hasn't happened yet. Thank you.
So, thanks, Peter. The point is, there are many players that, like you, are forecasting this convergence. What do you see as your clearly unique differentiator?
Our clearly unique differentiator is that we have, during 4 years, built a platform that really has all the standards for the physical world. Not only the standards, the technology, and the algorithms that's used in the physical world. And at the same time, that platform contains the standards, the technologies, and the algorithms that is built for the digital world. In the same platform, to utilize a process that can go across these 2 worlds. That's the unique thing that our differentiator. And as I'm aware of, there is no one else that has that. I mean, there are many companies that are strong in the digital, physical, but not in both.
Gotcha. Okay, so I woke up a little bit slow today. So I need to understand.
Sorry for...
Yeah. But I need to understand your product a little bit better. So is it a software solution? Is it a stack, software, firmware, hardware solution? How does it resemble any LDAP, identity management type solutions in the market? Just trying to get my hands around it.
Yeah, I can understand it's difficult. It's a software solution. It contains a workflow engine that's connected to manage process around identity management, but not, into other directories and so on. We have a line for managing the identities really more from an access perspective. But the birth, the death, and so on. And we, of course, can do it from outside directories and so on. But it's really a software platform. And it's used for various different of use cases. There's so many use cases. We are using it for protecting ambulances. When they send data to the hospital when they are driving there. It's used for entering buildings and entering networks. It's used for protect 4GL networks, because the 4GL networks, they go online. Then they need this protection. It's used for protecting underwater drones. BMW builds their cars with robots from KUKA. They protect them with our software. So that's really so many use cases. That's one of our problems, to keep the focus on the right things to do. That's why we don't have your picture in the brochure.
Well, exactly. That translates well into my question. I think the vision is next generation, because it's obviously an issue, and there are countries in emerging countries like India, for example, they have this unique ID for everyone, every citizen that they're trying to get, but that's physical ID, and that is expected to transition digitally. So my question to you is, obviously with the kind of definition of the vision that you have a lot more use cases and diverse use cases. Where are you focusing on? And you also mentioned that the convergence hasn't happened, so it's just starting to happen, right? So what needs to happen for you to realize your full potential?
It depends what you mean with the full potential. As I said, we are growing 50 to 100%. I think that's quite good, based on the convergence that's happening today. I think the market we need to decide what part of market should we be in, and where are we going to focus. That's more important for us. And we need also we're only 245 people. We need to extend geographically, we need to extend vertically, all that. So we need to grow. We need to grow. We have the potential, we have the market to grow in. We just need to get our act together how we should grow.
Let me put it the other way. So as you said, the use cases are just so diverse. So are you focusing on any particular use case or any particular industry, or how are you approaching the market currently?
Today we work mainly. We have worked hard to create primary references in the market. So we have focused on big organizations, like Volkswagen, like BMW. We got SAP as a customer last month. So that's really been our approach. We haven't had another focus, and then we have used the use cases that we have created together with those companies. The next step for us is to do a more organized approach in how we.
Okay, so now it's opportunistic use cases, individually created with big corporates, and then you will look into the focus.
More of a geographical focus.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay. Thank you.